Hi, it's Bev here for URB, and I'm joined by Matt Humberstone, who is running in the SU elections. Hello, thank you for joining us.
Hi.
So, let's get straight in. What's the main focus of your campaign
What's
for
the main
community officer?
What's the main focus?
Yes.
I guess my biggest priority is to kind of focus on the housing crisis. It's a really big issue. I'd say that now it's like become the biggest issue for students. It's bigger than like a lack of library space, because essentially we've had students that haven't had housing, and like
So where are you going to live?
To have someone that even before I ran last year, I'd worked for a social enterprise letting agency.
Yeah.
I had that housing experience. It's essential, really, that there's someone who runs for community officer, there's someone for next year's community officer that has that understanding of housing and can really tackle those issues. That it's a very complex situation, and you need someone that can really essentially prevent further cases of student homelessness.
Yeah.
And that's something that is a really big concern, and something that I 100% have to prioritise
Absolutely
more than
vital.
anything else.
You kind of touched upon this, but how would you build upon the work of your predecessor?
Of my predecessor?
Yes, your predecessor.
As in predecessor before me, or
As in,
predecessor as in
you.
me?
Yeah.
I guess there's loads of things that I think will be set up like by the end of my first year, if I end up having a second year, and the things like the inclusivity award is something I'd love to develop more. It really is an amazing, like, it's now at a stage where it's a scheme that other students' unions are envying, because it's what they want. That's what they really want. But to be able to be part of that development for that would be amazing. The mental health action plan that's kind of been worked on will hopefully be complete by the end of May. To be able to see that through, like to see it start and be implemented, would be fantastic to have that opportunity. And like, obviously, having been in that position and set those things up, I'd like to think that I'm well placed for hopefully building on those things. But there's a huge range of other things that would be great to kind of keep going. Like even recently restarting Enable, it would be great to support essentially the first committee for a very long time to succeed in representing students with disabilities, and to really make sure that students with disabilities have a voice, and that there's actually some action that's done by the Students' Union around the many issues that those students face.
Absolutely. Okay, so as part of the housing crisis, you want to challenge the council, the uni, and other stakeholders, and you mentioned this in your manifesto. If this challenge were a game show, to beat them, what would you win at?
What would I win at?
Yes.
As in, what game shows am I good at? Oh my goodness!
You're up against the uni and other
very
stakeholders.
I'm very good at a lot of game show games. To be fair, like I used to be really good at 4 in a row. That's like Jenga is also something I'm really good at.
Yes.
But like I'm pretty like I've even like run game shows for my scout group, like Family Fortunes, Crystal Maze. I'd love like Crystal Maze would be a lot of fun, and essentially like the university and the council, they're just not going to be they're not going to be able to cope with that.
Not
like
Crystal Maze.
I can do it.
Yeah. You can do it. Cool.
Basically anything. Yeah.
You want to improve signposting on campus. What's wrong with the current signposting? I mean, they're very well constructed.
Well, actually, to be fair, they're not. Well, I guess in my manifesto, I was potentially looking more at online signposting. Okay. Even then, I think an issue that's certainly come up in my year is the fact that some rooms do not exist on campus. There are rooms that you can even book, and then you can't find them because they don't actually exist. So you end up.
Do they exist though?
I don't think they do. Like, there's actually some rooms that don't exist, and it's something that essentially estates need to look at.
Something
and
from
kind
Hogwarts.
It's there might be a hidden wall or something, but essentially, if there's a hidden wall, maybe like tell us where that hidden wall is, so we can find that room.
So maybe that would be one of your policies. You know, to find these hidden rooms.
Yeah.
But invisible rooms.
It doesn't make any sense that there are rooms that don't exist.
I agree. You also want an anonymous blog to share stories. Have you been inspired by Yik Yak?
Have I been inspired by Yik Yak? Well, actually, like Yik Yak ended up like not working on my phone, so I haven't actually been like so. For like pretty much the whole year, I haven't like
Have you ever used it?
I've used it before, just to kind of like see what is kind of out there. And sometimes it's very interesting to see what students are kind of posting about, what are the kind of current issues, kind of keeping a track of those sort of things. But no, I don't think Yik Yak was actually my inspiration. My inspiration kind of came from the blog posts that I was doing and the good feedback that I've received from the blog posts that I've done on things like mental health and asexuality, to then to roll that out so that actually there's voices from other people that would be good to hear from, and that I think having this sort of blog set up would make sure that ends up, because I think being able to understand issues from a first person point of view, from someone saying it, from first person, is essential. It's like a really good way of kind of getting across issues and making people understand, particularly across diversity issues, but other things as well.
Cool. Your slogan is "Map for That."
It is.
So we're going to test you on how map for that you are in these things. So, number 1, Donald Trump impersonations. Map for that. Over to you.
Do you want me to do a Donald Trump?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Where do we even start?
You can mess up the hair a bit, get the get the.
I'm trying to think of like what to say. It's Mexican immigrants. No, that's the best I can do.
Oh, Donald Trump. Rapping, Matt for that.
Oh my goodness. You really want? Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
What's the good rap I can do?
I know the rap from Justin Bieber's Baby.
There's one what's it called? There's a rap I really, really like, but I can't remember what it's called.
You can do Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh my goodness.
A bit of Eminem.
Eminem. I'm trying. My mind's actually gone blank in terms of lyrics.
Do you know Justin Bieber Baby?
That's not a rap though, is it?
But in the middle he goes.
I can't. No, I don't know that song well enough.
We can move on. We can go on to the next one.
Oh, I feel like obviously Matt is not for that.
Matt, not for that. Hand jive. You can put the microphone down. Yeah. Okay. Matt for that. Great. So going on to Matt for that. It's a very catchy, energetic slogan, complete with your own exclamation mark. So can you give us your best, most energetic exclamation of it? Of Matt for that.
Matt for that.
And you can look at the camera right there.
Matt for that.
Yay! Matt, thank you very much for your time. Good luck with the elections, and thank you for joining us in URB.
Thank you very much.